Lappin, who started on the bench, spears it to Favola.
Great check, great mark. Here's 9 points.
Backing in here.
Thank you. Super goal by... They have been aggressively attacking down the centre corridor, have the Blues. Perhaps a touch of inaccuracy, ensuring that the margin is just 5 points at quarter time. Favola with a super goal. Thomas, the goal kicker for the Kangaroos. Bentic, Stevens, Betts, the running players getting involved for Carlton. Overall, 102 possessions for the Blues to the Kangaroos 72 in that opening quarter, including more of the contested and uncontested ball. Of those 41 marks, just 3 contested. Carlton with 14 inside 50s to the Roos 10 as we check in at ground level with Liam Pickering.
Well, both coaches were generally pretty happy with that first quarter. Dennis Pagan really happy with the way they ran the ball from half back, I should say. Dean Laidley, on the other hand, just needs the Kangaroos to play us to just lift a little bit around the ball. Maybe got to lift their work effort a little bit, I should say. Also, their forwards just need to put a little bit more pressure on.
Pickers, as Clinton said, not a lot of contested marks, but what we did see was a bit like the old end-to-end kicking, where there was plenty of packs and the ball did come to ground, but the opportunity there for big pack marks.
Well, that's exactly right. The Carlton side have actually got a really athletic back line, a lot of tall athletic players. At the moment, they're on top because they can run and actually carry the ball as well. That's where the Kangaroos need to lift a bit.
Second quarter is go with an early free kick picked out by Stefan Grun. 15 free kicks paid in the opening stanza. As Stevens takes it for the Blues and drives it long. Can Favola get to the contest? No, his opponent Forito can. Takes the mark, plays on quickly with the handball to Pratt. Out wide is Harris. He can go to Thompson.
Good stretch.
But he's had to be pushed right up the ground. Thompson only the 1 kick in the first quarter. Lee Brown yet to have a kick.
Here's Brown, right on cue.
Not sure that's not going to be a good thing for them because they've got Shannon Grant in the forward line at the moment. The big guys up forward didn't work for them in the first quarter, so maybe they're just looking at restructuring and going a bit smaller.
I agree. The athleticism of Carlton down back have dominated the big forwards for the Kangaroos. So, yep, swap it around, get some pace into the forward 50.
McIntosh winning it down. Stevens with the tackle on Harris. Simpson feeding Trotter. Target is Hansen. Thornton wearing him tightly, conscious of not giving away the free kick, and it's over for a boundary throw-in.
And that's where this ground is completely different to any other. You just see the distance between the boundary line there and the fence. Not a lot of room to work for the smaller forward line. They've got Daniel Wells down there. Shannon Grant also now playing at full forward.
Ackland the hit out. Thompson the gather. Quick kick to that Grant-Walker matchup. Grant spinning out of trouble. Now, if Carlton disguised it well enough, they have. Just a 1-point rush behind to the Kangaroos.
That's where the transition from the kick-outs is very important. Carlton have got away here.
Thornton. Fisher working hard. Gets there.
That's a good run as well to make an option, to provide an option.
And now Murphy presents. And the kick is good as well. Good foot skills early in the year by the Blues. Murphy sending that very wide for Favola, and Whitnell there as well. Scotland in support. Kangaroos outnumbered, doing all right. At ground level, Carazzo wrapped up. Blues prize it clear. Murphy's hurried kick forward. And it's McIntosh for Watt. Now they can look to run it out. Pratt working with Swallow. To the attacking side of the outer wing, it's Thompson again, but a long way down the ground again. Wells cleaning up. Pratt running into Murphy, so he releases Trotter. Caught by Fisher. Riggio, good hands. Gibson away. Kangaroos big chance now. Gibson on the run. The defender, 45 out, left foot. Hurried kick going across the face for a behind.
Well, it's good movement by the Kangaroos, but you can see why they've had 105 possessions in the first quarter. That's just multiple handballs going forward.
White. Wide.
Probably that last handball to Gibson. He was under pressure, put a lot of pressure on the kick towards goal. May have been better just a steady look for an open target.
And Jared, just letting you know, I put you on notice last week for your top 8. I look forward to finding it in the second half of our broadcast this evening for the season proper. Carlton by 3 points. Murphy throwing it for Whitnell.
I'll put you on notice, Clinton. I've got 14 in the top 8.
Gee, two sets of supporters are going to be very disappointed at missing out. Simpson is upended but did well to hang on to the footy and give it to Nick Stevens, who caught Whitnell and Russell out of the corner of his eye. It's Russell who takes it, goes long to full forward. Fisher there, Gibson the spoil. Harvey waiting down, quick hands. Good stuff by the Kangaroo defence. Now, Petrie looking to go long to Hanson. And Thornton's given away a third free kick for hands in the back.
It was there, but the kid's done well in front.
Hanson to Brown. Oh, well done by Waite.
And that was a classic example. Waite used his forearm to push his opponent under the ball and not his hands. Look out.
Oh, Simpson's got to wait. Sinclair closing fast. Couldn't take the mark. The Roos have got 3 on 2, but Simpson slips away and does well to get it to Houlihan.
Missed an opportunity there, just Sinclair. Just had to push the ball forward because he had Shannon Grant in his own. It was a 2 on 3.
Boundary throw-in will result. Grandstand fairly well populated, but sparse in the outer. I think they'll be disappointed with the attendance tonight, the AFL. We'll wait and see what the final number will be as the Kangaroos embark on their new home away from home. Sinclair dragged out of it by Stevens. Play on the call. That time Sinclair knocked it on to Simpson, who got it back to Sinclair. Harris is caught. Look at the Blues pressure.
Too long in the tackle.
Too long in the tackle.
50-metre penalty for a bit of descent to the umpire. Nick Stevens obviously not overly happy with the decision.
19-1 the handball count this quarter.
Way too long, Nick. Mark's here.
So Harris still too far out to score. Thompson is loitering deep. The kick short. Sinclair likewise too far out. So Grant, Brown, Thompson all forward targets. Now in from the side, taking it still too far out is Harvey. So he takes on Russell.
This is better though. He's in forward.
Runs away. It's Boomer at his very best. Kangaroos in front. He has done that so often throughout his 216 AFL game career, Brent Harvey. And at 28 years of age, he is as crafty as ever.
And he's one of the true leaders of this club. He needs to stand up for the Kangaroos to have a very good season. But there was too many defenders back for Carlton. Nowhere to go, so he had to break the 50 and back himself to kick a goal by himself.
Roos by 3 points. McIntosh for Simpson. Kangaroos again. Finding the run of it this term. Sinclair goes long. Can Brown get to it? No. Good spoil by Waite. Houlihan goes without it. Swallow. Simpson. Thomas going to ground. Ball going nowhere in a hurry. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Well battled.
Liam, we saw Nick Stevens come from the ground after that 50-metre penalty. It's about rotation time. Do you think it was that, or was it a penalty from the coach?
Well, I don't think the coach would have been all that happy with him. It was just remonstrated, probably more than anything. It wasn't what he said to the umpire, because I was right here. It was more just the fact that he was actually quite animated when he was throwing his arms around.
Eye on.
Betts, Scotland, Whitnell. Lance to Favola. Good pressure by Ferrito. Good support for Carlton provided by Adam Hartlett, affecting the boundary throwing.
And Big Fev not all that happy. I reckon he missed the first lead.
I reckon he probably did, and it's nothing more frustrating when the ball carrier through the midfield doesn't see you on your first lead and you have to pump out another one. But Ferrito showing good pace, same as O'Halpin at the other end, and getting a fist in on most occasions.
Carazzo. Stevens takes it on the bounce. Back for Carazzo. Slips one. Good vision. Mark Murphy spills the beans. Gets it back. Finds an opening. Young man all class.
It's good to see young Murphy bounce back from that shoulder injury last year. He has so much poise for just a guy in his second year. Played only about 14 AFL games. Just an enormous amount of poise and the ability to swing onto his right boot and convert on that opportunity.
It was a great goal, but don't forget Andrew Carazzo. He established that, and he's a much underrated player.
Oh, yeah.
Carazzo. Building a reputation.
Lead change number 4 here at Gold Coast Stadium. Clinton Gravis, Jared Healy, Alistair Lynch and Liam Pickering on hand with you. in the semi-final.
Just on Carazzo, I was talking to one of the AFL recruiting guys through the week, and he considered him just a great find and a ball magnet. He was in the same under-18 carnivals, the likes of Judd and Hodge and Ball, and he averaged actually more possessions than those three guys who are considered great midfielders in the competition. He wasn't picked up. He had to go down to Geelong. He
Spent a couple of years, down at Geelong.
Won a B and F in the seconds, and they didn't pick him up. And finally, he was rookie to Carlton. But he has proven in his time at the seniors, he's a ball magnet.
And played 19 of their 22 games last year. So 23 years of age, but still considered young in an AFL experience sense, as Sinclair slides onto it neatly. Hurried to one to half forward, but Lake read it very well.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
Against Wyman. We'll get a boundary throw in with Liam Pickering downstairs, in fact, out of bounds on the full. Liam.
Anthony Koutafiti is just coming off for Carlton and being replaced by Lappin. They actually went tall, Carlton, at the start of the quarter. They went Fisher, Whitnell, Favola, Koutafitis and Hartlett with only Eddie Betts crumbing. So they just had to mix it up a bit. They just looked a fraction big.
And certainly the possession count evening up there as you see the hands in the back, much to the frustration of Hamish McIntosh.
And the Sinclair-Murphy matchup is an interesting one. Sinclair's trying to push back in defensive 50 and be a loose man across half-back, and that's just allowing Murphy to have too much of the ball. Stats-wise, 10 disposals to Sinclair and the 8 to Murphy, but you just cannot afford your opponent to kick goals.
This bloke's lifted.
It's Sansbury.
He's doing well.
Kicking towards the wing. Thornton assumed the front position. Handball over his shoulder. Thomas is exciting. You hear the support he's getting from the stands as Walker sees it over for a boundary throw-in.
I was saying before the game, Walker has added a bit of size. I think he's 3 or 4 kilos bigger than he was this time last year, and just could develop into an absolute top liner.
His 4th senior year of footy is Ackland with the hit out. Swallow waiting for it. Koutafitis could pick up. Stevens gets it from Houlihan. Goes back for O'Halpin, who's got Walker. 6th in the best and fairest last year. Did not miss a game as he secured his spot in the back line. Ackland's kick smothered by Sansbury. Fortuitous bounce for Hartlett. Kicks it hurriedly for Favola. No whistle there.
Good numbers back by the Kangaroos.
And here is Moran, who has a loose man on the outer side. It's Grant. He's got Sinclair attacking side of the middle. He receives.
Lee Brown up forward, only man.
He'll go long in his direction. Walker from the side affects a good spoil. Is it going to stay for Harvey? Russell does well not to give away a free. Gets some support from Houlihan and now White. And the Blues defence did it nicely there. It might come back in a hurry though. Watt for Sansbury runs it out throwing.
Well, it's tough for Lee Brown and it's tough for all forwards, because the numbers there were 2 Kangaroos versus 6 Blues.
Yeah, he just seems a little bit out of sorts. He's very good form last week, Lee Brown, and looked like he'd really come on. And it's that time of the year. It's tough for forwards to judge the ball on flight.
Is he going to be a permanent forward this year?
Depends how they go down back.
Wyman kicking the Roos deep to full forward across the face. It's over for a boundary throw, and he kicked just 8 goals last year, Lee Brown, as he spent a lot of the time down in the defensive zone in his 21 games.
And I think probably ideally centre-half back, full-back. I mean, he needs the pace to come off the back line. Depends how Ferrito stands up. He's certainly shown a lot early in this game.
Everyone remembers when he kicked 6 against Adelaide in round 1 at the G 3 years ago, and I thought he was in for a big year as a key forward. 9.5 minutes from half-time. Betts soccering it to Murphy, trying to follow it up.
There he goes.
But here he is. Big bad. Lee Brown giving it to Pratt.
Kick.
Oh, what a kick that is. That is as good a pass to a forward, in this case Glenn Archer, as you will see.
That was almost the highlight of the night. That was brilliant.
It was. And Lee Brown, his attack on the ball, and we know over the years that he's a tenacity to hit the contest hard. He just hasn't quite seen it well tonight, but geez, his attack on the ball got it out to Pratt. Pratt had the poise to get around a couple and then just swing around on the right foot, hit Archer.
Do you want to back Archer in here? Come on.
I've got to back him in, otherwise he might tear me out of the box.
He only kicked 1 goal for all of last year. Oh, it was never in doubt, was it? And the Kangaroos are back in front.
Well, this is what you'd expect. The Kangaroos have just put too much energy and perspiration, and I reckon miles into the legs, kilometres into the legs, to just simply lie down and die. They were a bit slow out of the blocks. I think the Blues had them for intensity, but They've levelled that up. Now, that is a great kick from Daniel Pratt, who's had to struggle early in his career. He started up with the Brisbane Lions, from memory.
Yep.
Went down to the Kangaroos and really is building a massive reputation now as a hard defender.
Kangaroos 22, Carlton 19. And we might need a new footy.
Flat footy. Archer's busted that one when he's just grabbed it. Very happy to get a mark inside forward 50. Just squeeze the wind out of it.
Go to the bucket of balls. Jared staying up here on the golf course, having a hit tomorrow.
No, I'm on a plane with you. You know your contract says I've got to carry your bags. So I'll be on the early flight out. But just having a good look at the football down there, it doesn't look like there's too much wrong with it.
No, umpire didn't like it for some reason. We just see with the Kangaroos their stats, 62 kicks and 62 handballs, which is unusual in AFL football, but it just shows that the intent is to run, carry the ball and give off to an opponent or a teammate that's pushed ahead.
Gibson, Simpson, Gibson again, running. Lost the locks in Kangaroo Lotto over the summer. Shave the head or pay your teammates $500.
He was a bit stiff there, Nathan Thompson. He looked to me like he got a little shove out.
Stevens in the back pocket.
Oh, good vision.
Yep. It's Cloak.
That wasn't.
Simpson.
There's a handball on there, he missed.
Now Harvey can set up. Kangaroos have lifted in the last 10 minutes. Sainsbury with an untimely fumble in the middle. Does well to force it out. Russell is there. Harvey, clever kick. Just dribbled it along to Grant. And from 60 out, he goes long to the hot spot. Good spoil by O'Halpin. And Bentic's going to run onto it. A fumble, though. The Roos closed in a hurry. Lee Brown's in super goal range. He just dribbles it short. Ryman couldn't get onto it. Grant, they're queuing up the Kangaroos. You sense something's going to happen for them. It's Shannon Grant. Can he find an opening? No, he runs straight into Stevens. Great tackle. And Bentic will clear to Carazzo.
Probably just overusing it a bit too much at the moment, the Blues, and looking inside. But this time they've got the opportunity to go long into space, but they're going to ignore it.
Betts running.
He wants 9.
Favola direction. And a Favola free kick.
No, it wasn't a footy. Run on. Free kick. Custom in front. Whatever.
Against Josh Gibson. And it seemed consistent with the Archer call from the first quarter.
It was a good run by Carlton down the wing. Probably not a great option from Eddie Betts. He's kicked over Favola's head. Lappin was working hard into space, but just bomb long, just over. And yeah, once you jump into the front of your opponent, you're going to give a free kick away on most occasions.
It's not great play anyway, because if you have a look at what would have resulted, his man, Matthew Lappin, was just going to mop up anyway and kick the goal.
Favola lining up for his second. And Carlton regain the lead. Back and forth we go from Gold Coast Stadium on this Saturday night semi-final around Australia as Brent Harvey takes a break.
Look, the only thing you'd say about this is that Favola was on his own already, as was Matthew Lappin. Now, you're either going to run forward and kick us a 9-pointer, or you're going to chip the ball earlier.
Exactly.
Because forwards are out of position by the time he makes his mind up.
Yeah, if you ignore the first one, you kick it yourself.
Had quite a summer, did Brendan Favola, after a very impressive winter where he kicked 84 goals and was the All-Australian full forward. So Carlton, by virtue of the 6th lead change of the game, are back in front. They smothered the Sainsbury kick here, and Bentic hurries it out for Lappin. Put him in the veteran class now. Kicks towards Whitnell, who leaps high. Simpson waiting down for it. And he cleverly centres the ball for Betts. Favola to do the crumbing this time. And he's got number 3. A role reversal there for 2 stars in the forward line. It was Eddie flying and Brendan waiting down.
I suppose ideally out of position, but Eddie Betts, he made a contest, and that's all you can ask from especially a small forward. And Favola knew his role at the time. Got front and square, as you're told to do all the time by the coach, and just very handy around goals for Favola, just outside the foot and slotted it through.
It's a good kick, though, right to that hot spot. They were under enormous pressure there, the Kangaroo defenders.
Entertaining contest. Blues now by 9 points. Moran with a stint in the ruck. Harris for Simpson.
And Liam, just having a look at Daniel Wells on that outer wing. 1 kick, 4 handballs. He needs to do more.
Well, he's being tagged at the moment, or being picked up by Heath Scotland. And yeah, I think that's a plan of the Kangaroos, is to try to get him to kick the ball a little bit more. He's a very unselfish player, as we know.
David Trotter, kick smothered. O'Halpin wings it free for his trouble. That'll be on the 1%ers tape at MC Labour Park this week.
Oh, nice work.
Stevens with consummate ease to Betts. Plenty of Blue supporters in the stadium tonight. Overlappers on to the outer side. He goes to Cloak.
Look out, Fev.
Oh, and he just thumps it long, gives Favola the chance, and Farito is happy to concede a behind.
And ideally, going into your forward 50, your ruckman's not the man you want the ball in the hand of. I mean, with respect to Cloak, it was a long penetrating kick, but got to give off the handball to the runners, and they can probably deliver the ball to a better spot.
Just saw Fev pointing to the fat side of the ground, saying that's the spot to kick that long bomb. And he's a beautiful kick, is Cameron Cloak, so maybe he's the exception that proves the rule.
Essentially a 12-man zone set up from the kick back into play here by Carlton, so they're going to have some numbers, and Hartlett does very well on the second grab with the mark. Now, of those 12, 8 of them have run inside 50 here for Carlton, so they've got plenty of options. Hartlett is driving it to the goal square. Ball didn't sit for Betts. Pratt, good pick up for Watt. A touch of danger about that, going back into heavy traffic. To the outer side. Neat little soccer by Jackson. Watt was there, got it to Simpson. Kangaroos can clear now. Sinclair has Trotter and McIntosh in the middle. Go shorter than that now. Can Daniel Wells get involved?
Just look at him glide, but wouldn't it be good to have him on the end of this kick?
O'Halpin the spoil on Thompson. Thornton on half back. Measures the kick nicely for Murphy.
Numbers inboard everywhere for the Blues,
including Jackson. Hartlett, the young Blues combine. Now Stevens. Short, Fisher, caught, Gibson the tackle. Fisher knocks it away from Trotter. Game's picked up in its intensity here. Heading towards half-time. Sinclair is barreled over. Play on the call. Trotter for Gibson.
Jeez, he's hot.
Back for Sinclair and Harris. And now Wells again. And the Roos can break clear. Simpson for McIntosh. Wyman running out very wide. Walker for the Blues. Oh, that was good. Thornton to Wade.
Wade has been a star. They've just got to somehow find his man more often and make him accountable, because he is just playing the game on his own at the present time.
4 bounces, Jared White. Great carry. Caught eventually. Got it on to Lappin. Touched off the boot. Scotland finds an opening. Carlton are on the march, but Scotland is missing to the near side.
Very encouraging signs. White just run off the back, and I think Thompson is frustrated by the pace of O'Halpin as well. Some very good signs, very good run. I think when the Kangaroos work the ball out of defence with hands, you still have got to find a target around the forward 50 so you can steady up. Just a little bit too rushed going forward.
Farito brought down by a lunging Favola. Trotter clearing it. Gibson. Good, yeah, good recovery. Now McIntosh. Gibson running back. Some 6 kilograms lighter this year is Josh Gibson. Oh, spinning out of trouble was Campbell. Wells beginning to get involved, as Gerard asked for in the last 5 minutes. Long to the hot spot. At the back, Grant used his body well. Like a wily veteran, and look at Carlton complain. Grant's got the goal. The Blues protest will fall on deaf ears. They wanted an in-the-back call. We'll let you be the judge in just a moment.
Well, that's one of those situations where Shannon Grant had a size disadvantage, and he just worked his player under the ball. We'll just have a look on this replay. Was it the hand or was it the forearm? It's a bit hard to see there. I've got a feeling it may have been a bit of hand involved, but he's managed to get it past the umpire and convert a goal.
Two minutes 47 from half-time, and we've got a 5-point game on our hands in the semi-final. And the Roos are looking to take the lead. The captain is Adam Simpson, driving them inside 50. Well read by Thornton. Houlihan affects the switch. Cloak to the outer side. Support from Walker. Now Scotland.
He looks dangerous to me, Cameron Cloak, because he's playing as a ruck rover. Once he does the initial tap at the centre bounce, he goes to the other side of the ground to where the ball is, and therefore you knew every Carlton player, as soon as Brett took that mark, he knew that Cloak was going to be on the other side of the ground.
Don't grab him, don't grab him. Let it run, don't hold. Play on. Get it out, Puma, good job.
Harvey, you heard the call from the umpire, getting it to Sinclair and now Pratt.
Now this is where they've got to find a target around half forward.
Sainsbury is having to find the football first. Trotter breaking one, getting by a second, going long. Grant again. Thornton not to be denied.
Too often just going long, and the Carlton defence are doing it too easy to come out.
Walker to Russell. Inside of 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Simpson now can run. Goes his full quota.
Lappin.
And then drives it deep where Lappin is waiting back. And it's through for a behind. (34-28).
Possessions very equal, 173 the Kangaroos, Carlton 179, but once again emphasising the ability of or the purpose of the Kangaroos to run and carry and handball the ball. 83-91 is their kick handball ratio.
McIntosh wraps the kick around his body to Jess Sinclair, who has been prominent with 15 touches and 5 marks, and a nice little sidestep as well. Goes long, Archer from behind, having to spoil. I know Halpin kept his footing, did the Kangaroo veteran. Shovels it back to a long-time teammate in Harvey, who works with Archer. Good play. Sinclair now.
5 on 1 deep. They can't go long.
Grant.
Unless they go all the way.
Unless they go
Might do so. Scores a level. Shannon Grant gets his second.
The Glenn Archer contest, he didn't mark the ball, but the fact that he actually put a fist on the ball, got it to ground, gave his smaller crummers, who have been fairly effective in this quarter, gave them the opportunity to set up for a kick on goal.
We're not sure how the season is going to pan out, but it just looks as if there's going to be more and more people camped in defence, and the blokes who can kick the ball over the top of those, as Shannon Grant did from 45, become more invaluable.
Shannon Grant with the last 2 goals of the match after Carlton had edged their way to an 11-point lead. All square now, some veterans on the bench. Final half minute of the opening half. And can Sinclair try and engineer something here for the Kangaroos? Collaborates with Swallow on the outer side, working towards half forward. Oh, Halpin with the spoil, still time here. Wells for Sinclair. Loads up the talk, doesn't hit it sweetly, but gives them a chance regardless. Awkward bounce, waiting down is Archer. Still time, 14 seconds. Grant for his 3rd in a row, and he's got it! What a finish to the first half! With 6 seconds to go, Shannon Grant kicks his 3rd in the time-on period to put the Kangaroos back on top.
Well, pushing him deep, I think, was the key move in this quarter. He actually starts the bounces out at centre half forward and he's run onto it. But I think we're going to see here that Jared Waite's actually just had a fresh air. He should have touched this on the line. In fact, I think he claims he has touched it, but Shannon Grant is a match winner right now.
Great reaction from Shannon Grant. The Carlton players haven't been impressed with the men in red at times tonight. Can they mark this throughs and get another chance? No. Bauer takes it for Carlton, and that's half-time. An entertaining struggle in the semi-final. And after the Blues led by 11 points during that second term, they find themselves trailing by 6 points at half-time. Shannon Grant with 3 goals in the time-on period to turn this one around, and we're going to have a football game on our hands, gents, on Fox Sports AFL.
Yeah, we've got one, no doubt. Lynchy just having a Brett Thornton. He's very frustrated. He gave away a couple of free kicks early, and now his direct opponent, Shannon Grant, has become the key man with 3 goals in 10 minutes.
It's frustrating. Shannon Grant certainly lit up the forward line for the Kangaroos. Just to capitalise on the amount of ball that they've had through the midfield, they were struggling to find the key position targets in Brown and Thompson, But the forward Crummers lit them up, kicked some goals late in that second quarter.
We promised you these were two teams that had plenty to play for, and they're playing it out on cue. Kangaroos 40, Blues 34 at halftime.